A classical guitarist from Dorchester was recently honored as an ambassador of the arts in France. He'll be returning the favor in Boston by performing works of French, American, and Spanish composers. The performance will be at the French Cultural Center in the Back Bay. To tell us about the program are the guitarist Aaron Larget-Caplan and baritone soloist Matthew Hock. Thank you both for being with us.
Thank you.
I want to start with Aaron because you got this award. Tell us who gave it to you and why.
Yes, the Académique Société d'Arts Sciences Lettres, Academic Society Arts, Science, and Letters. And it's an organization that's over 100 years old, based in Paris. And it is an award that goes to artists, writers, architects, teachers, and one gets nominated or selected by a representative. And I had to prepare a portfolio of my life of music. And I did that last January, and it was judged. I didn't think much of it, and I got a note in May saying that I've been awarded the Médaille d'Étain, like a pewter medal, and there was an award ceremony in Paris in June, and it's a great honor. I think I'm one of the only classical guitarists and a very few non-French to get the award.
Well, they're happy that you're spreading awareness of French culture around the world, the musical culture at least. Mm-hmm. Why do you spend so much time? Because this is something you've done quite a while, hasn't it?
Yes. Paris was the center of classical music life for so long. So many of the great composers, especially Spanish composers, studied in France. And so Albéniz, Granados,
De
Falla, yes, Rodrigo. And so their music is touched by France. And then I will say on a personal level, my wife is French. And so I've delved into it even more. But most of it is because friends or collaborators have said, hey, is there anything by this composer for guitar? And that gets my brain moving and I start messing around with the notes.
Matthew, you sing different kinds of music. You've sung Bach in German, and you teach French along with your musical teaching. What is it about French music, at least art songs in French, that attract you?
I love French music, and I love it because it's so subtle and because the poetry is so wonderful. But your question makes me want to quote Ned Rorem, who famously said, the great diarist Ned Rorem.
Another foreigner who studied in France.
Yeah, one of many. Not Rorem per se, but many of them studied with Nadia Boulanger. Yeah. But Rorem said that German music is superficially profound, whereas French music is profoundly superficial. And I think that's a great way of describing French music. You think of something like Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, it's based on a very small motive which digs very deeply. But with French music, voice leading isn't something that's strictly followed. Chord progressions are not something strictly followed. We've broken out of that Rameau sort of mold, that Western tonal Schenker sort of mold, and French composers, I think, it's like looking at an Impressionist painting or looking at pointillism.
One of the songs you sing is by the poet Verlaine, and you read Verlaine, and even on the page, this is just too musical to be true. I mean, what about your impressions? Is the song L'Heure Exquise that you sing that's by Reynaldo Hahn?
Oh, L'Heure Exquise is one of the great songs, and Reynaldo Hahn I teach mostly undergraduate singing, and Hahn is a great composer for that because it's both parlor and art music. I think it's accessible to so many people. I personally love late Fauré, late Debussy, Poulenc, but I think there's something more accessible about the Hahn poetry, the early Fauré.
Aaron, those composers that Matthew just mentioned, they wrote art songs with piano. You're doing this with guitar. What's the difference?
I don't have any hammers. On the guitar, there's only 6 strings. And on the piano, each note has 3 strings. So there's a resonance. The piano has, of course, the cast iron frame, and you have 10 fingers. And as a guitarist, I can't do 10 notes at once. And so when I take that music, I have to look at what is the most important aspect of a harmony or a melody, and how do I put that on? And on the guitar, I can change colors. And that means the timbre or how I touch the note. So I can make a note sound like another instrument, or I can make it sound very bright, or I can make it very sweet. Whereas the piano, there's only one color to it. So I'm in essence orchestrating these accompaniments, but on the guitar.
And of course, the next best thing is to look at this excerpt of a contemporary setting involving both of you.
a piece by Francine Trester, who is a composer based at Berklee College of Music, and she's written quite a bit of music for me. And these are two songs, or one song, from a set that we are giving the world premiere for, and they're from Mineral Spirits, and this is Obsidian.
Found in the southwest, its name derived from legend, says they were outnumbered, fighting bravely, but in the end...
What about you, Matthew? I mean, you've sung with Baroque ensembles and other things. You've certainly sung with pianists. What's it like singing with a guitar?
It's a completely new experience for me, and that's one of the reasons I was so interested in doing it for the challenge. Usually I sing with piano now. I started my career as a professional choral singer. I actually was the baritone soloist at Trinity Church in downtown Boston. Then I sung Bach for many years with the Oregon Bach Festival. And now that I'm at a university and not in a major artistic venue, I do a lot of art songs with piano. And I think in both opera and art song, not all art song, but if the venue is big enough, there's such an emphasis on resonance and projecting your voice to the back of the hall. The guitar is such a subtle instrument, and I find the challenge here is singing both subtly and well, being able to whisper through the voice in a way that I could never do in the standard opera arias.
No, of course, the other thing is that when people hear art songs, they think, oh, that's kind of abstract, it's not like opera. But, I've been exposed to some of this, and you're still storytelling, aren't you?
You're storytelling with all kinds of vocal music, because it's not just about you, it's about the words and embodying that character. Fischer Dieskau always said it's far more challenging to sing an art song recital than a Wagnerian role, because in Wagner, you're one character the entire evening. In an art song, you have to be a dozen characters in one recital.
Finally, Aaron, I know this is coming up pretty soon, so we should make sure our viewers know when and where you're playing this.
It is this Saturday, tomorrow night, September 21st, at the French Cultural Center on Marlborough Street. And it's in 3 parts, and there'll be some wine and nibbles as well. And it starts at 7 o'clock, and it should be a wonderful, wonderful evening.
All right, thank you both very much. Aaron Larget-Caplan and Matthew Hock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
BNN News is produced by Boston Neighborhood Network with support from Boston University's College of Communication.